I want to get into real fast. I want to talk about this. Your boy Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones Jr. Two of my heroes, bro. Like at different times, and they were gonna fight at one time, and it fell through. What are your thoughts on that? That fight?
Both of those guys were my heroes as well for different reasons, and there's certain things in my fighting that I've taken from each fighter, even the ones that people haven't seen me use yet. It's a lot of Roy Jones because I'm kind of like fast like him, and I got really long arms. You know what I mean? I can close the distance, or I can get out of the way quick. So I've been able to use some of the stuff, and then the compact, explosive stuff from Mike Tyson. I've been able to take some stuff from that. So I've studied them so much. I watched so many films, so many fights from both of them. I think that if Mike Tyson touched anybody, they're going down, no matter what age he is,
So
no matter how
scary.
old he is, and I just can't see him not touching Rory at some time in this fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I think in the later rounds, if he can wear Mike Tyson down, he can win a decision or possibly maybe put him away. But my pick is Tyson with that power, man. Like you got to consider, like Tyson had power when he was in his 20s. He's got that same power now, and Roy Jones is in his 50s. Tyson's in his 50s. I don't think there's a human being at 50 years old that can take that many Tyson punches. If one. Like I wouldn't want to take a Tyson punch with the glove and a headgear on.
I don't want to take one. Ain't no college prank on earth.
Like I think he could kill him, bro.
Dying.
I think he could kill him. I think brain cells being dead is just a minimal. I think literally he could freaking give him I don't know. Like it's scary. It's a scary ass fight, and people
it's a punch that like the most terrible pedophilish criminals on earth should have to stay there and let Mike Tyson punch them one time. And if they go, they go. That's how serious this punch is. Like, you know what I mean? So I agree with you for the same exact reasons, just that the life-changing power that Tyson has. And I think Roy Jones, you know what I mean, he was king at making people mad, so he can try to gas out Tyson, but I just don't see him being in that much better shape either, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, he fought a year and a half ago, but he fought a year and a half ago. But again, it's just like, yeah. I mean, Tyson might prove his saying of you always have a game plan until you get hit, and when he hits Roy Jones, that could change everything. A lot of people are also saying it's an exhibition fight, and that's going to change things because it's like they might not be going as hard. Can you imagine Mike Tyson?
Matter.
Can you imagine Mike Tyson in an exhibition fight? Can you imagine Mike Tyson in a sparring session? If you were sparring Mike Tyson and you punch Mike Tyson in the face hard, do you think it'd be a sparring session, bro? Like he only does one thing. He fights. That's it.
He reminds me of a bear.
Yeah, there's no exhibition, bro.
You look like you got something he wants. He's gonna lift up, roar at you, and scratch the shit out of you. So I really just don't think exhibition. They can call it what they want.
Yeah,
Mike Tyson and him both have been at the top of the top champions. It's a pride thing, and pride thing is like anytime you ever see like a celebrity basketball, celebrity football, I said I'm coming out here for ankles and egos. I'm going for real. I want to show everybody that I probably could have played NFL football, so I'm finna go crazy out here. And meanwhile, my hamstring was sore, my groin, my hip, my feet.
Yeah.
I instantly was sore. Some take a day or two.
Yeah.
I was sore right then, right there. I was walking weird. I'm like, I was dumb. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to go hard. It is going to be a full-out fight.
That's crazy, man. And you were on the hot boxing with Mike Tyson, dude. I'm so jealous of that. I saw you on there. How was that?
I was the first MMA fighter, but they just put the episodes out as your fight comes up or something important in your life that they can vibe off of. So when I went, and I think I took some screenshots of me being there. Then all the other fighters wanted to try to go. So all these MMA guys trying to follow me, man. They all went on the hot box, but it was cool. It was cool to sit down. I met him 2 or 3 times earlier, and I was glad because that's like one of my idols, like him, Muhammad Ali, Rory, and some other people that I really look up to them as an athlete and just their mind. Man, he had a gorgeous mind when it came down to just being a robot, and they just trained his brain to just destroy. So being able to sit down and have a conversation and just actually really tell him a couple of times, like I used to watch his fights every day, and that's what kept me on the treadmill. I would watch it 30 to 60 minutes, and I would put his fights on, and that kept me on the treadmill. And I watched the interviews, I watched everything, and I knew him so well. I knew what he was about to do. I knew what he was setting up, but he motivating people on a way that you don't even understand your impact. You don't even understand your
Right. Yeah.
footprint, what you're doing in people's mind. It's flattering when you hear it,
Yeah.
but do you understand that? And that's coming from somebody that won 5 world titles. You know what I mean, imagine the day to day, the you know what I mean, the person that's a school teacher that just loves Mike Tyson. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You know,
I saw Eminem just completely fanboy out on his podcast. Like it was like Eminem spent the majority of the time just saying like, I can't believe I'm talking to you right now. Like you're my hero. Like that's crazy. Like to have that kind of impact.
crazy.
But when you're a fighter like
Yeah,
you, like yourself being a champion, when you're a fighter, it's a whole different level of celebrity than it is like with everyone else. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're an alpha
yeah,
male. You're a beast. You're like gladiators were the first like real like sports guys and it's just like yeah, it's a different level. We do military tours going around supporting the troops and stuff. Like they look forward to our trips more than the celebrities coming because they love watching
yeah.
UFC and they felt like I guess we kind of like proved ourselves. We were accepted better. That being said, as far as the celebrity thing, I had Anthony and Sergio Pettis on, your boys, and I asked them their most memorable fame moment. And I know you probably have a bunch of crazy ones, but just one that stands out. Theirs was smoking weed with Mike Tyson during the podcast. That was the point where they were just like, "Holy shit! Like my life is crazy. I've made it. Like this is an insane situation." Do you have any that you can share where like maybe it was a first one or an early one? 'Cause I know you had so fucking many, but one where you were just like an impactful one, maybe in the beginning where you were just like, wow, man, like I made it. Like I would never have been able to be in this situation if it wasn't for me being, in the UFC and having a belt or whatever it was at the time.
It would have to be Mike Tyson. The first time I met him, the first time I met Mike Tyson, he was on that show, right? He was doing that live show
Oh,
talking
yep.
about his life, and it was scripted real well. And I think Spike Lee got involved with it, so I would want to go see the show anyway. So I hit Dana up, and I was like, Dana, I never asked you for anything, dog, and I may never ask you for nothing again. Mike Tyson is coming to St. Louis, and I got to meet him. I don't care what it costs. I buy my own tickets. I don't need no freebies. I just need to know that I can go backstage and meet him. So he made a couple calls, and then when he got to the end of it, he hit me up and was like, all right, somebody gonna be calling you in a minute. And I was like, don't fucking kid with me, dog. So they called me, so I talked to Mike for a second, I talked to his wife, and I talked to his business partner, and it basically set it up where after his show, we got to go and hang out with him, have a couple drinks, relax, and like it's like a private meet and greet joint. But for me, that was like the biggest thing ever. Like this is Mike Tyson. Like how many times I watched you fight. Like it's just for me to feel that way towards him. I can't imagine if some fan feels that way towards me.